John Locke, both an English philosopher and one of the great empiricists, he believed that knowledge came from the senses. People didn't start off with any senses of their own. It all came from experience. He used the example of a blank slate or a tabula rasa. This, as I talked about with the cookies, was that we all started without any experiences. We didn't know anything coming into the world. This means that all of your ideas, everything that you know, all came from your senses. You didn't start with any human nature. You didn't have any ideas coming out as a baby. All you know is what is around you. And the second part of this is that when you take these simple ideas that you experience around you, that you see, that you feel, you take these and you can create. And the example I thought of to explain this better would be, you might first see a tree or a tree branch, and you might see that, hey, it's kind of sturdy, it's fairly light. Then you look at the ground and you see a rock lying there. It's kind of sharp and pointy, very hard. And then you take these two simple ideas and you combine them and put them together to get a more complex idea, like a spear. Now you can go running off with your 10 other friends to hunt a mammoth or a saber-toothed tiger, whatever you. So, once you're done feeding yourself, then you can start to worry about your government and who's controlling you. Luckily, Locke has an answer for this too, and this was probably what made him most famous. So, how Locke's political philosophy and ideals started was with the tabula rasa. He expanded on the pretty basic idea to meet his more complex philosophy. Locke took the idea that we all started with a blank slate to say we were all equal. Another way to say this is, all men are created equal. This of course sounds familiar because it was used in the Declaration of Independence. This theory that men were created equal was directly against the most commanding idea of the time of an absolute monarchy. This idea was that one person would rule the whole country and had almost absolute power. These monarchies, like the King of England and Spain and the rest of the nations around Europe, they didn't really like Locke's ideas, and so he was seen as a radical for at least some parts of his life. Although this was seen as radical, it was really just the beginning of his political philosophy. Locke went on to face more ideas like toleration, and also develop some natural rights for all people. And what better place to discuss natural rights than in nature? Although natural rights have nothing to do with plants and animals, they're still a very important part of Locke's philosophy. You might be wondering, what is a natural right? Well, a natural right is something that applies to all people. It's unalienable. It's a right everyone has. These natural rights, they're not like a legal law. You can't go to court over it. You can't sue someone for violating your natural rights. But they're still there. And these three natural rights, Locke said, were life, liberty, and property. These rights were guaranteed to you by nature itself. And the government, and this is where the politics come in, was supposed to guarantee these three rights. But to do so, the people had to give some of power to the government, and this was the social contract. The people would give power to the government, and the government would protect the people. But if the government does not protect the people, Locke said it was perfectly fine for the people to revolt against the government. Now, you can definitely see why Locke's ideas caused revolutions like the American Revolution and the French Revolution, and countless others to date.